All right, welcome back to Doctrines 2. We continue on our discussion of Christology as we continue on systematic theology. We're considering the person of Jesus Christ and more specifically the humanity of Christ. As we look at this, as the humanity of Christ, it's important to understand that as a human being, Jesus Christ had weaknesses, he had limitations. He had a human body, and his human body was subject to the same physical, spiritual, physical, mental, and emotional limitations that human beings have. And by that, I mean, as we look at the three characteristics, or the three primary characteristics of personhood, we talk about mind, emotion, and will, or mind, emotion, and strength. And so Jesus' strength, his physical body, was limited like a human being's. He was born, obviously. He grew as a child. He became tired. He hungered. He thirsted. He became physically weak. We know that in the temptation, he fasted for 40 days. He was physically weakened by that. We see that in the crucifixion, he was physically weak. He could not carry his cross. And ultimately, he was a human being demonstrated by his death because he died. He had to be human in order to die, but also in order to die, he had to be human. I know that sounds kind of backwards, but it's important to understand that because he died, we know that he was human. He rose again, but in a human body, he was in a perfected human body. In other words, when we die and we're looking forward to our resurrection, we can assume that we will take on the same kind of human body that Jesus Christ has in the resurrection. So in other words, his human body, even in resurrection, is not any different than the human body that we look forward to in our resurrection. Jesus had a human mind, and this is one of the more difficult ones to really wrap our brain around, because how does an omniscient God learn? And yet Jesus Christ, as he was a human being, he grew in his mind. Luke 2:52 says that he grew in wisdom and in stature. He learned how to obey. He learned facts. He had to learn concepts. In other words, how did Jesus Christ, the statement is always about, oh, I'd hate to follow Jesus through biology class since he created the world. He created the animals. Yet, we know that Jesus did not exercise his deity. He did not exercise, we'll see this in a later video, did not exercise his omniscience fully. And so because of that, he had to learn. In other words, Jesus had to learn how to tie his shoes or strap up his sandals. Jesus had to learn how to read, how to write, how to speak, any foreign languages that he learned. We know he knew Aramaic. We know that he spoke Greek. If he spoke any other languages, we're not sure. But he would have had to learn those languages just like you and I had to learn those. He had a human brain. He had human mental capacities. Jesus also had a human soul. He had human emotions. We read in John 12, his soul was troubled. John 11:25 says he wept. We see that he was tempted in every way that we were. He was sorrowful about things. He wept over Jerusalem. He was frustrated with the disciples. How long have I been with you? He got angry with the disciples, and when the disciples were shooing away the children, it says that he was very angry with them and rebuked them. Suffer the little children to come to me, for such is the kingdom of God. So we see that Jesus had a human mind, he had human emotions, he had a human body. But also we see that everyone around Jesus simply saw him as a man. Matthew 13. When Jesus had finished these parables, he went away from there. Coming to his hometown, he taught them in the synagogue, so that they were astonished and said, "Where did this man get this wisdom, these mighty works? Is he not the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Mary, his brothers James and Joseph and Simon and Judas, and are not his sisters with us all? Where then did this man get all these things?" And they took offense at him. He did not do many mighty works there because of their unbelief. They saw him physically as a human being. He did not appear as a god. He does not appear as anything more than a human being. That's all we have for Jesus' humanity. We'll go on in the next video.